2 winters ago, one of my patients almost died in her own kitchen, and the thing that nearly killed her was sitting right there on the windowsill above the sink. A little white pill she took every single morning with her breakfast. She believed, with all her heart, that it was making her healthier. So did I at first. Let me tell you about her. I'll call her Margaret. 64. Retired school teacher. One of those patients you look forward to seeing because she did everything right. She walked every morning. She ate her vegetables. And every day, without fail, she took one big pill she'd been told would protect her bones after menopause. Her mother had broken a hip at 70, and Margaret was terrified of the same thing happening to her, so she was faithful. That pill was the last thing she took before she left the house each day. I have been practicing medicine for a long time now. Long enough to have watched thousands of well-meaning people over 50 do the exact thing Margaret did, every morning, believing it was pure protection. Long enough to have believed it myself. And long enough, finally, to see the pattern that almost nobody talks about. The call came on a Tuesday, just after 9 in the morning. Margaret's daughter, breathless, said her mother had felt her heart start to race and pound while she was standing at the sink, that she'd gone pale and gripped the counter, that for a few terrifying seconds, she thought her mother was going down. It passed. Margaret sat, she breathed, the racing slowed. By the time I saw her that afternoon, she looked fine, embarrassed even. It was probably nothing, she said. But it wasn't nothing. And here is the part that has stayed with me. When I asked Margaret to walk me through her exact morning, every single thing she'd done before her heart went haywire, she listed it all off. And then she waved her hand at the very thing that mattered most, the way people always do. And then I took my pill, she said. You know, the one for my bones. The one thing she was proudest of. The one thing she thought was keeping her safe. That was the thing I could not stop thinking about on the drive home. Because I'd been seeing hints of this for years, and I'd been trained, like most doctors, to look right past it. Now, before I take you one step further, I need you to hear the good news, because I don't ever want to just frighten you. Once you understand what I'm about to explain, this is genuinely simple to fix. There is nothing here that requires a prescription, a procedure, or a single dollar spent. The people who need this can protect themselves with one calm conversation and a couple of easy changes at breakfast. Margaret did exactly that, and 3 years later she is walking every morning and her heart has never done that again. So please don't let the scary part scare you off. Stay with me, because the fix is the easiest part of this whole story. And I want to be honest with you up front, in a way that a lot of health videos won't be. What I'm about to describe is debated. Serious researchers still argue about how big this risk really is. I am going to give you the honest version, both sides, and then the smart, safe move that works no matter which side turns out to be right. That's the promise of this channel. Honest medicine. After 50. So let me start peeling this open. And I'm going to keep calling it the pill for now, on purpose, because I want you to think about it as a category, not just one product, before I tell you exactly what it is. Here is the first thing almost nobody stops to consider. This pill is trying to do the job of a food. It's a mineral your body absolutely needs, one you're supposed to get, slowly and gently, from the things you eat across a whole day. And for most of human history, that is exactly how people got it. In little amounts, spread out, wrapped up inside real food, absorbed drop by drop. But somewhere along the way, we decided we could shortcut that. We could take the whole day's worth, sometimes more, and cram it into one big tablet swallowed in a single gulp. And that one difference, food across the day versus a pill in one shot, turns out to matter enormously. Think about the difference between sipping water all afternoon and drinking a liter in one go. Same water. Completely different thing happening inside you. When you eat this mineral in food, your gut lets it in slowly, a little at a time, and your body handles it beautifully. It always has. But when you swallow a big concentrated dose all at once, something different happens. The level of it in your blood can climb, quickly, into a brief spike your body was never really designed to buffer. A sudden surge, then a fall. Food never does that. The pill can. Now hold on to that idea, because it's the hinge this entire story turns on. It is not the mineral that's the villain. Your body loves this mineral. It's the delivery. A food's job, done by a pill, in one big morning dose. That's reveal number 1. And already you may be starting to guess which everyday pill I'm talking about, the one millions of people over 60 take every single morning. Keep that guess in your back pocket, because the next thing I'm going to tell you is the part that made me genuinely angry when I finally understood it. Here is what made me angry. The whole reason people take this pill, the only reason most of them take it, is to protect their bones. That's the promise. Take this every day, and you won't break a hip like your mother did. It's the fear that put the pill on Margaret's windowsill in the first place. And when you actually look at the evidence, carefully, honestly, that promise mostly does not hold up. I'll be straight with you, because this is the part your doctor may not have time to get into. For the average healthy older adult living at home, taking this pill on its own does surprisingly little to prevent the fractures people are so afraid of. The bone benefit that everybody assumes is huge turns out to be, for most people, quite small. Some large reviews of the research found little to no meaningful reduction in broken bones from the supplement in community-dwelling older adults. Let me be careful and fair here, because honesty cuts both ways. There are absolutely people who genuinely need this, on their doctor's advice, and for them, it belongs in their routine, and I would never tell them otherwise. Someone with diagnosed osteoporosis on a specific medical regimen. Someone whose doctor has measured a real deficiency. Someone with a kidney condition being managed carefully. If that's you, this video is not telling you to stop anything. It's telling you to have a conversation. We'll get to exactly how. But for the huge number of ordinary people over 50 who take this pill, just in case, for my bones, never having had a real gap measured, never having been told to by name, believing it's doing something powerful for their skeleton, the honest truth is that it's probably doing far less than they think. And that matters enormously, because of where this is going. If a pill is barely helping the bones you take it for, then any risk it carries, even a small, debated one, suddenly looks very different. You'd be paying a price for almost no reward. So that's reveal number 2. The bone protection you're counting on from the pill alone is, for most people, mostly a story. Which brings us to the question that the whole video has been circling. If it's not really protecting your bones, and it's giving you a sudden surge your body wasn't built for, then what exactly is that surge doing? Where does all that extra mineral go? That's the reveal I've been holding back, and it's the one your heart cares about. All right, it's time I told you what the pill is. The pill is a calcium supplement, a calcium tablet, the big white one millions of people over 60 take every morning for their bones. And before your guard goes up, hear me clearly, because this is where being honest matters most. I am not telling you calcium is bad. Calcium is essential. You would die without it. And calcium from food, from your yogurt, your milk, your leafy greens, your canned fish with the soft bones, that calcium is good, it's safe, and you should absolutely be getting plenty of it. Please hear that. Food calcium is not the villain in this story, and it never will be. I'll say it again later because it's that important. The question is only about the supplement. The pill, the big single dose. Here is the honest state of the science, and I'm going to give it to you straight, both sides, the way I'd want it given to me. More than a decade ago, a group of researchers pooled together many studies of calcium supplements and found something that unsettled a lot of doctors. In that pooled data, people taking calcium supplements appeared to have a modestly higher rate of heart attacks than people who weren't. Modest, not enormous, but real enough, across enough people, to publish and to worry about. Later work looking at calcium together with vitamin D pointed in a similar, uncomfortable direction. Now here's the other side, and I promised you both. Other researchers looked at the same question and did not find a clear increase in heart risk. Some major expert panels reviewed everything and concluded the cardiovascular danger, if it exists at all, is small and uncertain. So this is genuinely debated. Honest, serious scientists still disagree about how big this is, or whether it's real. Anyone who tells you calcium pills definitely cause heart attacks is overselling it. And anyone who tells you there's absolutely nothing to see here is underselling it. The truth is in that uncomfortable middle, and I'd rather stand there with you than lie to you from either edge. So why would a supplement even do this when food doesn't? This is a hypothesis, and I want you to hear it as a hypothesis, not a proven fact. Remember that sudden surge from reveal number 1. When you take a big calcium dose all at once, your blood calcium can spike briefly in a way it never does with food. And the concern is about where the body puts that excess. Calcium is the same mineral that hardens your bones, and the worry is that a lifetime of these sudden surges may make it a little more likely for some of that calcium to end up settling in the walls of your arteries instead of in your bones. contributing to the stiffening and hardening we call vascular calcification. Stiff, calcified arteries are harder on the heart. Food calcium, absorbed slowly, doesn't seem to drive this the same way. I'll add one more piece, gently, because the science is still young here. There's growing interest in vitamin K2, a nutrient that seems to help guide calcium toward your bones and away from your arteries, which is one more reason food, which comes packaged with its co-nutrients, behaves so differently from a lone pill. I'm not going to oversell K2. I'm just telling you the whole honest picture is more about balance and delivery than about calcium being some poison. It isn't. So, put it all together. A pill trying to do a food's job. Barely helping the bones you take it for. Delivering a surge your body wasn't built for. One that may, in some people, over years, nudge calcium into the wrong place. And that has been linked in some studies to a modest, debated rise in heart risk. That is the whole story. And now that you understand it, I promised you the fix would be the easy part. It is. Let me give it to you. Here is the smart, safe move. And notice, it works no matter which side of that debate turns out to be right. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to win the argument to protect yourself. Step 1. Food first, always. This is the whole game. Get your calcium the way your body was designed to take it, from food, spread across your day. And you have wonderful options. Yogurt and milk if you tolerate dairy. Hard cheeses, canned sardines or salmon with those soft edible bones, which are a quiet powerhouse. Leafy greens like kale and bok choy and collards. Beans, almonds. Fortified foods like some plant milks and cereals, which have calcium added right in. Eat a spread of these across your day and you are getting calcium the slow, gentle, safe way. The way that has never been the problem, packaged with the other nutrients that help your body use it correctly. This alone is what most people actually need. Real food, most days. Step 2. And this is for the people who, with their doctor, decide they do still need some supplement. If that's you, you don't take a megadose. You take the smallest amount that closes your actual gap. You take it with a meal, not on an empty stomach, so the surge is blunted and it absorbs more like food does. And if you need more than a small amount, you split it, some at one meal, some at another, never one big slug all at once. Smaller, with food, split up. That single change takes the sharpest edge off the entire concern we just talked about. And ask your doctor whether vitamin D, and the context around K2, make sense for you, so any calcium you do take is more likely to head toward your bones. Step 3, and this is the one I most want you to actually do. Have the conversation. At your next visit, ask your doctor 3 calm questions. First, do I actually need a calcium supplement at all, or can I get what I need from food? You may be surprised how often the answer is food is enough. Second, has anyone ever measured whether I have a real calcium gap? Because so many people take this pill for years without anyone ever checking if they were even short to begin with. And third, if you have heart risk in your family or your history, should we talk about my heart? And whether the way I'm supplementing makes sense for me. There's even a simple heart scan your doctor can tell you about, if you're higher risk, that actually looks at calcium buildup in the arteries. That's a conversation worth having. And please, hear me one more time on the thing I promised to repeat. None of this, not one word of it, is a reason to fear the food on your plate. Your yogurt is good for you. Your greens are good for you. The sardines are wonderful. Dietary calcium is not the danger, and it never was. If you take nothing else from this video, take that, plus the idea that a food's job is best done by food, not by one big pill swallowed at the sink. And if your doctor prescribed your calcium for a real, diagnosed reason, you keep taking it, and you bring these questions to them. You never stop a prescribed supplement on your own, because a video told you to. That's not honest medicine. Honest medicine is you and your doctor, deciding together, with the full picture in front of you. Now you have the full picture. Let me bring this back to Margaret, because her story has the ending I want for you. When we sat down together, we didn't do anything dramatic. She hadn't had a real deficiency measured. She was eating plenty of calcium already in her food. So, with her doctor, she stopped the big morning megadose she never really needed, leaned into food, and that was it. Her heart never raced at the sink again. She kept every bit of the healthy life she'd built. She just stopped handing her body one sudden surge every morning for a bone benefit that, for her, was never really there. Here is what I need you to understand. Almost certainly, someone you love takes this exact pill. A parent, a spouse. A friend who tells you every time you see them how good they are about taking their calcium for their bones. They believe it's pure protection, the way Margaret did. And they will probably never come across this on their own, because the algorithm buries the calm, honest videos and pushes the loud, scary ones. So I'm going to ask you to do the reaching for me. Share this with the one person over 60 you'd be devastated to lose. That single share might be the reason they finally have this conversation with their doctor. That's not a small thing. That might be everything. And while this is fresh, do 2 more things that cost you nothing. Subscribe, so the honest version of these health stories keeps reaching you instead of the fear-mongering. Because there is a great deal of fear-mongering out there, and you deserve better. And tell me in the comments, did you or someone you love take a calcium pill every morning for the bones, never having had a gap measured? I read every one of them, and your answer helps me know which honest story to tell next. You don't need to be afraid of your own kitchen, and you don't need to be afraid of calcium. You just need to give your body what it was built for, food across the day, instead of one big surge at the sink, and take one honest question to your next appointment. Do that, and you've done more to protect your heart and your bones than almost anyone taking that pill without ever asking why. I am Dr. Brightwell. Honest medicine. After 50. Take care of yourself, and take care of the people you love.